Right, hello everybody, welcome back to The Golden Sky. Today it is Friday, the 24th of October 2025. I'm Tom, and as always, thank you very much for joining me today for the Friday match preview. Liverpool against Brentford, or Liverpool away at Brentford, I should say, this weekend, tomorrow, 8 p.m. So in today's video, we're going to go through everything you need to know for the upcoming game. We're going to chat about it. We're going to look at what Brentford are good at. We're going to look at Liverpool's point of view. We're just going to have a little chat about the football because that's what we do on a Friday. So if you are joining me on YouTube, please do drop a like on the video. Let's see how many we can get. See if we can get to 20. Let's try and get to 20 likes on the video. Drop a comment as well what you think the score prediction might be for Liverpool and Brentford's game. And subscribe to the channel as well. We're getting closer and closer to 200 subscribers. I think we're less than 25 away now. So if we can try and get that even closer by the end of October, then that would be awesome. So let's try and do that. And podcast listeners, 5-star rating and reviews. Thank you very much for joining me today as well. So yes, nearly back with another weekend of Premier League football. Feeling a little bit more optimistic after our win against Frankfurt in midweek. The manner of the win, the scoreline. I was not looking forward to any football whatsoever until that. So the excitement's back. Feeling good. I downloaded Football Manager yesterday, the new game. I don't know if anyone plays that who watches these videos or has ever played Championship Manager back in the day. The new version FM26 is out, so I'll be playing that tonight probably, and maybe over the weekend. If anyone has an idea of what team I should be, I've not decided yet, so let me know in the comments. And don't say Liverpool, it's too easy with the mighty Reds, it's too easy. So yeah, that's going on. My dog's behind me. It's all going on here in the house of the Golden Sky. So yes, should we talk about Liverpool's predicted 11 and go on the tactics board and look at what I think the team will be Saturday night? Let's go and do it to start the video off. All right, guys, so here we are looking at the two sides. I've only put Liverpool's in at the minute, and we are going to be in our beautiful third kit, I believe, seeing as Brentford play in the red and white. So this is the team that I think. Remember, this is a team prediction. This is not a team that I would pick. This is a team prediction, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. So in the goal, we've got Mamardashvili. He will play in net, obviously, and then Bradley will be at right back with Frimpong out injured. Kanate and Van Dijk, I'm pretty certain will start centre-backs. Don't think we'll see Gomez. Kirkez, I think, will start at left-back. We'll talk about that in a second. Szoboszlai and McAllister, I think, will be in the middle with Wirtz ahead of them. And then I think the front three will be Salah, Ekitike, and Gakpo. Now, remember, before you all comment and you're like, oh my God, how can you say that this player's playing, blah, blah, blah. This is a prediction of what slot we'll pick. I'm trying to get 11 out of 11 here, okay? Now, if I was in charge of Liverpool, which I'm not, and I never will be, unless something mad happens, and I don't know, John Henry watches the Golden Sky and he recruits me. If you're watching, John, I'm open for business. I would not play this team. This would not be the team I would pick. The first thing I'd do is I'd play Robbo at left back. The second thing I'd do is I'd play Jones in the middle. And the third thing I'd do is I'd play, unbelievably, I'd play Chiesa, our September, or is it October? He just won Player of the Month for Liverpool. Now, it wasn't a great month, but he did win it. So that's what I'd play if it was up to me. But I don't think that will be what's played. I think Kirkaz will start. I think Maka will start. Let's just do Maka. And I think Mo Salah will start on the right wing. So yes, if you look at the side on paper, I mean, it's a brilliant side on paper. It is. But I just think there's players in this team who maybe don't deserve to play. And the main one is Salah and McAllister at the minute. They're the two. I mean, Kirkaz, like, okay, he's not been disastrous, but I just think Robbo deserves it after the good performance at Frankfurt and just the solidarity that he brought. And especially the way that we're using our left back at the minute. McAllister and Salah are just so off form at the minute, like so off it. Miles off it. I just don't feel like they deserve to be playing, but I think they will. And I wanted to look at what Slot said in his press conference today about certain players and about sort of comments about overall Liverpool's form and things like that, and just read a few out and sort of talk through them as we look at this team. So, somebody asked him quite rightly about Salah, and him missing chances and those kind of things and his bad form. So this is exactly what he said. Okay, I'm going to read it for you. He said, I don't know if it's sharpness. In general, players miss chances. He's a human being. We're not used to him missing chances, let alone a few games in a row, but these things happen. The main thing is, Mo has always scored his goals for our club. The last thing I worry about is Mo starts to score goals again, because that's what he's done his whole life, and I expect him to do it again. Now, obviously, Arne Slot is not going to come out in public and say, Mo Salah's playing rubbish, he's never going to be good, he's never going to score goals again, he's finished. He's never going to do that, okay? It's never going to happen. He's always going to defend players. Salah could have walked on the pitch and kung fu kicked the referee in the face and then spat at all the other players and ripped some of their teeth out with pliers, and Arne Slot would be like, I think Mo's had a tough moment. I think he's having a tough spell at the minute. The point is, he's going to start him on the weekend. That's what those comments read. He's always going to start him for me. He's not going to drop him 2 games in a row. He's showing faith in him. He's going to start. So as fans, like, I don't want to say just blindly follow, because you're allowed to criticise, of course. I would do the same. But I think we need to remember who Mo Salah is and what he's done for Liverpool and show him some support. He's not going to be this bad all year. He just isn't, guys. So hopefully he can score a goal, get back on track tomorrow against Brentford. He was also asked about Jones. Someone asked him about Jones's, the amount of passes he made the other night. I think he made 122. It was the most anyone for Liverpool had ever made in the Champions League since 2003, I believe it was. Someone asked him, and he said this. So he said, I'm not surprised he touched the ball so often as we put him a little bit lower against a team with a low block that didn't press the ball. Curtis' playing time has gone up since I've been here. There's a reason for that. I like how he has progressed. But with him, as every player, he's in competition with 5 or 6 other good midfielders. That last part for me is very telling and very key. He's saying McAllister is going to start, in my opinion. Doesn't start the last game, so he's fresher in Slot's mind. Szoboszlai is going to start. There's pretty much no doubt about that. And Gravenberch is probably not going to be ready. I mean, he was asked about this as well. And he said, Gravenberch is a question mark for the weekend. Let's see where he is. He said the same thing about Isak, if you're wondering that as well. So, Frimpong a couple of weeks. Isak and Gravenberch question for the weekend. Let's see where they are. That doesn't indicate starts to me. And Alisson a little bit longer, he said as well. So, I think that indicates McAllister's going to start. Just the fact that he's saying he's competing with other quality players. I think he'll play McAllister. But the key in this team that I like, if we're looking at things that I am happy with in this team, I'm happy with the fact Szoboszlai is going to be playing in the middle, and I'm happy he'll probably also be on the right-hand side of the middle like he was against Frankfurt. I've been calling out for this. We played him there. We scored 5 goals. We looked a lot better. He will help with Salah's sort of running, or lack thereof, in this position, and also getting Florian Wirtz in the middle of the pitch. I mean, he played here on paper against Frankfurt, but he was drifting inside. In this situation, he'll be right in the middle, as he was sort of at the start of the season when we lined up against Bournemouth. It's a similar looking team. This was Gravenberch maybe, but other than that, it's a very similar looking side. Ekitike gets the start. I mean, he absolutely deserves to start. This guy looks like an absolute top player. So buzzing with that. So yeah, I'm happy with the team, bar maybe 1 or 2 players that I would change myself. So how's it going to line up? How is it going to work? How can we apply these players that we're probably going to start against Brentford's team the way that we applied them maybe against Frankfurt? Because Brentford are going to play a similar way, and we'll talk about that in a second as well. What we did against Frankfurt, if you didn't watch the tactics video, go and watch it, is we often had 2 strikers. That was in against Frankfurt, it was Ekitike and Isak, and then it became Ekitike and Chiesa. Now, I think we need to use Salah a bit like that, a bit like a striker, because Brentford are going to have this back 5. And then what we did was we had the fullback on the right-hand side provided the width, with Gakpo on the other side provided the width. And that allowed Wirtz to sort of drift all the way just across this front, wherever he wanted. But I think he's going to pick up more positions around here in this game. With Salah over here, he's going to be more around this position. So I think we need to get Salah nice and narrow, let Bradley do the width. And then the important part is where these two players stand, McAllister and Szoboszlai, because we absolutely need them for ball progression against Brentford. We'll look at Brentford a little bit later and their sort of stats and how they play. I've got some clips for you as well to show you. The midfielders are going to be key, not only for possession, but for transitions as well. Kirkus is going to be here again. I'm not massively a fan of him playing here. I think Slot's going to play him. He's talked about Kirkus. He said his 1v1 defending's been good. He said Gakpo maybe could have had opportunities to use him more when he's overlapped. I agree with that, but also I don't think we're using him overlapping enough. That's a whole nother issue. But yeah, we need McAllister, we need Szoboszlai to be able to get on the ball. Brentford are probably going to play with two. I mean, we'll look at their setup a little bit more. We talk about them in more detail, but for me, this is sort of how Liverpool need to line up. It needs to be the 3, it needs to be the 2, and then the 5. The 3-2-5 is a formation we see a lot in football nowadays when a team has the ball in possession. I think Szoboszlai will really help. Let's say we lose the ball, it comes here and then they're able to play to a midfielder, maybe shift it over here. Salah's not going to run back, and if Bradley's really high, if we have Szoboszlai in this area, like Slot said, he dropped them a little deeper against Frankfurt, he's able to do these recovery runs as well as Bradley to get back in, maybe deal with Sharda, who will be in this left channel, who's extremely fast and good on the counter-attack, and we'll look at Brentford's counter-attacks in more detail later. So I like this position. Hoping for a bit of a bounce back from McAllister. It can't really get worse for him at the minute. And then, like I said, happy with Wirtz here. Hopefully he can kick on with more assists, maybe more goal contributions, maybe even get his first goal in a tough game at the G-Tech Community Stadium, I believe it's called. What a catchy name that one is. So, yes, that is the setup for Liverpool, I think, on Saturday. So, before we move on and talk more about Brentford as a focused point, I want to talk about more comments Slot made in his presser, because I just thought they were a little interesting, and I want to discuss them with you guys. So people asked Slot about our bad run of form, as they're rightly and well within their rights to do so. And this is the response he gave. So he said, he's asked about negativity, and he said, I don't think I'd use that word, meaning negativity. I mean, people are more focused on some things. Look at the second half in Frankfurt to the first half versus United. It was the same control. Now, I just want to stop there before we carry on. It was not the same control. We were not in control of the game against Man United in the first half. And if he compares that to the second half against Frankfurt, when we had complete, total control of the game, he's not seeing it right at the minute. And I love Arne Slot, and I think, I know he knows way, way, way more about football than me. But if he thinks we had the same control in that first half of the game against United, when they could have scored 3 or 4 goals, and the same against Frankfurt when they had 0 opportunities, he's gone bananas. So I just thought that was interesting. I get what he's saying in terms of we had a lot of the ball, but our possession against United was useless. We were going nowhere, and then when we lost the ball, we'd instantly give up a chance. 5 big chances. 5. We've got to keep hammering home that point. So that was a bit of a worrying quote, but then he carried on. He said, the scoreline reflects things differently. Agree. I said from open play, we are the team who generates the most chances, but we concede more than I like because too often we are chasing the game. Agree with that, Arne. Listen, we're creating more chances from open play, but the fact of the matter is, in the Premier League, we're giving up way too many. Way, way too many. Think of our last 3 games. Palace, Chelsea, United. The amount of goals we could have conceded in those 2 games is frankly unbelievable. We're lucky to have only conceded 2 in each, to be quite frank with you. And yes, we keep going behind, so we keep having to chase the game. That's a problem. I'm glad he recognises it, but can we stop doing it, maybe? That'd be boss. And then he said, when 3-1 up against Frankfurt, we didn't really concede any chances. So he's recognising it. How can he say that's the same against United? I don't know. The main difference this season is the playing styles we have faced. 178 long balls in the first 7 Premier League games, followed by 59 against United. The way to unlock that is a moment of magic or a set piece. Now, I thought this was a really interesting quote he made about the long balls, because if he thinks that we're going to have anything different than what we've seen in terms of long balls, counter-attacks, low blocks, which he spoke about against United after the defeat. If he thinks that's going to be any different against Brentford, and he won't, because he knows he's not stupid, and the data team isn't stupid, he's going to be rudely awoken, because Brentford are probably the best team in the league at marginal gains from set pieces, long throws, long balls, counter-attacks. It's their bread and butter. Then he spoke about the 5-4-1. He said the last 2 times we played a 5-4-1 against Palace and United, we created more chances than we did last season against a low block. To adjust some things against Frankfurt was again a 5-4-1. So he's banging on about this 5-4-1. It's really, I don't know, in his mind, 5-4-1, 5-4-1, teams playing really deep low blocks against us. Now, this isn't necessarily a new thing, in my opinion. Teams have played low blocks at Anfield for years and years and years. What does he expect? I don't think any of us expect teams to come to Anfield and play out, and I don't think we expect Brentford to do that even at home and try and be really expansive and try and dominate possession. Well, we know they're not going to do that. We'll talk about them soon. It's just slightly concerning to me that he keeps on talking about it like it's this foreign concept that he's not used to. Because when we're going to look at Brentford in a second, you'll see they are the masters of this. Marginal gains. That's what I'll call it. They are the masters of it. So a little bit of something to chew on there for you all. What do you think of those comments from Slot? What I can tell you is the last time that we lost 4 games in a row in the Premier League was back in 2021. So obviously we've lost 3 in a row at the minute. Hopefully we don't make it 4. Back in 2021, there was no fans in the ground, if you remember that. Wonderful season when we had fake crowd noise and all the seats were covered up with banners, and Man City had the little TV screens at the back that they couldn't fill. What a weird time to be alive that was. And we lost to Brighton, City, Leicester and Everton. 3 of those games were at home. We scored 2 goals. There was no fans, like I said, and our centre-backs that we used in those 4 games, well, Jordan Henderson played centre-back in all 4 of them, and his partners were, in the first one, Nat Phillips, in the second one, Fabinho, and in the next 2, Ozan Kabak. Ozan Kabak, he played centre-back for Liverpool, but he was utterly shite for Liverpool as well, so, you know, we can't match that tally. We have to not lose. We have to win this weekend, really. But despite our shocking run the last couple of weeks, we are only 4 points off the top of the league. And if I just tell you some of the teams we've played Arsenal, we've played Newcastle away, we've played Chelsea away, we've played United, we've played Palace away, we've played Everton, and we've played Bournemouth. All of those teams are really difficult, either because they're quality sides like Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea, even Palace and Bournemouth you can group in there. And then Everton and United, whilst they may not finish as high in the table, may not be as good in quality. When they play Liverpool, it's a much bigger game for us because of the magnitude of the fixture. When United play Brentford, for example, it means nothing to United, and you can see that in how they play. The 8 PM kickoff as well also makes this extremely difficult. I think the atmosphere will be amazing. At Brentford Stadium, they like to play Hey Jude, which is very weird because it's obviously a Beatles song, and they'll be playing that against us. It doesn't really make sense to me, but that's their thing apparently. Nah, Brentford. Yeah, good one, guys. Really good. But listen, I quite like Brentford. I don't have anything ill towards Brentford. I think our position in the league is not as bad as maybe it seems. Look, if we win a game and Arsenal lose, they've got Palace this weekend. It's not the easiest. They're at home. They'll probably win. But, you know, let's say they lose or draw. Suddenly we're only 1 game away from being able to overtake them again. So, played a lot of good sides. I don't think it's totally disastrous, even though it's been shocking. We're still right there and thereabouts. So, let's go and talk about Brentford. Focus on them for a little bit. Talked about Liverpool there for around 20 minutes. Let's do a little bit of Brentford focus to go into the second part of the video. So, Brentford on the board now, and Liverpool back in their positions. And Brentford are essentially Liverpool light, or Liverpool in another universe, perhaps, if you want to phrase it like that. They have a bunch of old Liverpool players. Kelleher, obviously, in the goal, the most recent one. Jordan Henderson, former Liverpool captain, of course. Sepp van den Berg, never really made any waves at Liverpool, but used to play for us. They have Carvalho on the bench. It's very Liverpool coded over at Brentford. But this is how they'll set up. And if you look at it, it's very familiar. It's our old friend, the 5 at the back. But they set up a little bit differently to the 5-4-1 that Slot's been banging on about. They like to play with 2 strikers. It's been Brentford's style for a long time, even going back to when Thomas Frank was in charge, with Ivan Toney and Brian Mbeumo when they first got promoted. Then it became Brian Mbeumo and Johan Visser. Now it's become Igor Thiago and Kevin Schade. And this is a very classic little and large target man and fast player, Kevin Keegan, John Toshak style duo up front. Obviously not on that level, but that's the way they play. The ball goes long. Igor Thiago is also a bags man, by the way. 5 goals already this season. Scored a bunch of goals in Belgium 2 years ago, and then was injured a lot of last year. Really like him, actually. He's a handful. The ball goes long to him, and Schade is absolutely rapid, runs off the back of him. He wins the flick on, and they create chances that way. Damsgaard, Henderson, Yarmoliuk all work really hard. Damsgaard's got a little bit of magic to create chances, and then they just thrive off set pieces and marginal gains. So we might see this, but what we also might see is when we have the ball for extended periods of time, we might see them go something that looks a bit like this, where they end up dropping Schade into the left-hand side, Damsgaard drifts over to the right, and they do adopt that 5-4-1. So this is where we'll need to be really, really careful in our possession, because as I'll show you shortly, Brentford are astoundingly good at counter-attacks. I mean, if I tell you that they care about the ball even less than Crystal Palace do, having 41% average possession so far in the Premier League this season, which is second to last. Burnley, by the way, 34% average possession. That is shocking. They're like on a whole different universe to the rest of the teams. But yeah, Brentford don't care at all. They're very, very comfortable not having the ball. They also have 19th place for successful passes completed. So again, they don't even pass the ball very much. They're extremely direct. They play long throws. They've got the best long throw taker in the league, by the way, Michael Coyote, a right wing back. This guy is not only a handful, a very physical player, but he can launch the ball Rory Delap style, I'm telling you. So as we're talking about Coyote's long throw, I wanted to move to some clips I got of Brentford and some goals they've scored, the style of play. If you haven't watched Brentford that much this season, hopefully this will help you get an understanding of how they play. I actually have watched Brentford quite a bunch this season. They're very entertaining. I actually watched this game against West Ham, believe it or not. That's how bored I was on a Monday night. I watched Brentford v West Ham, and Brentford destroyed West Ham, who are shocking, in fairness. But I mean, they destroyed them. They could have scored 4 or 5. They scored 2. But anyway, let's look at it. So set pieces. So Coyote, like I said, best long throw in the league, in my opinion. They don't score from this, but it's just the chances, the chaos it causes. Every ball that goes out wide, he's going to throw it into the box. I'm worried with our team. If we play Kirkes, McAllister, Salah, Bradley. Bradley's not maybe as bad as the other 3 I've just named, but Verts as well. Very small players. Are we going to be able to deal with these long throws? We'll see. The ball comes in. You can see they absolutely just crowd the goalkeeper. The idea is throw it nice and high, get the flick on, and try and score off the second ball. The ball comes in. There's absolute chaos created. West Ham are so bad at defending this. If you think we're bad, West Ham are even worse. The ball ricochets around. It falls to Thiago. He almost hooks this in the net. It just goes over. This was one of their many, many, many chances they created from set pieces. Now, a different game, same example. This time it's Schade taking a long throw. He also can launch it if Coyote's not on the pitch. The ball, again, is going straight to the goalkeeper. You can see how concerned the goalkeeper is with the players around him. He's just completely come miles off his line, try and push and shove. This was the last minute against Chelsea, the equaliser. The ball comes in. You can see this time Ayer, I think it is, wins the header. It might be Collins. It's tough to tell. I think it's Ayer. Wins the header. Garnacho switches off at the back post. Of course, Slim Shady over there. And Carvalho puts it in and got Brentford a point. That's against Chelsea at the G-Tech. Exactly where we're going to be playing them on the weekend. Now, to switch it up a little bit, going away from long throws, but still talking about Brentford's style of play, this is how they like to play. They will win the ball back off you. You see Chelsea here try to mount an attack. They've got the 4 players forward from the attack, and then they've got another 3 here that have pushed on. So 7 players committed forward to the attack, which is something that we might see. We have Kirkes, Van Dijk and Konate left back to defend. And Brentford win the ball, and they are so direct, so quickly. It's amazing, to be honest. if you don't know about Brentford's manager, he actually used to be a set piece coach who became a manager. So if you can imagine, he's now in full control. Just think of what his mindset about the game is. If he's a set piece coach who then becomes a manager second, think about how he sees the game and where he sees success for a team like Brentford. This isn't a set piece, but the ball comes to Henderson, who's done a brilliant job for Brentford so far this season of receiving the ball and kicking it long. He does exactly that. You see Shardy, you see the pace, the way he's able to break away from the defence. He does exactly that. Breaks away, finds the finish, back of the net. It's so direct. They win the ball, they go long. Shardy's really quick. They score a goal. I can see this happening against Liverpool. Like, the clearest vision in my mind, this will happen against Liverpool on Saturday. I am almost without doubt that it will happen. We will concede a goal like this, where we lose the ball and we get counter-attacked, or we concede a goal from a long throw or a corner, some sort of set piece that Brentford work. I can almost guarantee it, to be honest, as bad as it is to say. I'll move to the United game. Extremely similar example. United have committed players forward. Henderson wins the ball, looks up, wants to go long. You see United's numbers committed forward. The ball goes long. This time it's Thiago. This is what we should have done against United. Play more balls in behind because they are slow as slugs at the back. Thiago gets onto it, levers the fucker in the net. Here it is, right here. Levers it in. Last minute of the game now against United. Similar situation, United, lots of players committed forward, trying to push for a goal. This is a situation we might find ourselves in if the game's level at the end of the 90 minutes, like it was last season against Brentford, level at the end of 90 minutes before Darwin Núñez showed up and scored a goal or two. They win the ball at the back, it breaks to Brentford, they win it, they get on the counter-attack. Very quick, again, transition. They're so good at these transitions. Jensen belts the ball past Paper Mache hands in the goal by Indir. It goes right in, and they win the game. This is against, big clubs as well who want to dominate the ball. Less so West Ham, but Chelsea, United, and our last example, Man City. You see how effective they are at doing this against teams that you would consider teams that want to be on the ball. This isn't Burnley. This isn't Crystal Palace. These are teams who also want to play like us and be in control of possession. City here again, you see they've got players forward, committed. Brentford win the ball. Immediately the first thought is, can we go long? Can we find Thiago? Giarda's wrestling over here. He could have got onto this ball. Thiago competes with Guardiola, ends out winning the battle, comes away with it. 1-1 with Donnarumma. Could score, Donnarumma makes the save. But if he gets this finish, City concede the goal. Brentford only lost this one 1-0. They're very tough to beat at home. This is the way they play. They are super direct. Every single set piece, they will have a routine. They will have something worked out. This is how they play. This is how they get their points. This is how they've been successful in the Premier League for a number of years, not just with Thomas Frank, but looking like also under Mr. Andrews as well, former set piece coach, now obviously full-time manager. So, as is tradition here on a Friday preview, we are going to finish with Super 6. Looking at the fixtures this weekend, let's see what we've got. So, Chelsea against Sunderland and Newcastle against Fulham. Very popular home victories, I imagine. Fulham don't have Anderson. Sunderland don't have Alderete. Yeah, you've got to go home wins here, but by how many is the question. Do I think Sunderland can grab a goal at Chelsea? Yes, I actually do. But I think Chelsea maybe score a couple of goals. So I'm going to go 3-1 there. And then Newcastle, Fulham. Fulham without Anderson, probably going to leak a few goals. What happens if you click stats? That's just old results. I'm going to go to, do I think 2-0 maybe? Yeah, let's go 2-0 there. And then United, Brighton. Tough one to call, United. 1-2 in a row, getting a bit of form back. I can see this one being a high scorer, to be honest. I am actually going to go, United definitely going to score, and Brighton are also definitely going to score. And then who's going to get the next one? Or is it going to be a 2-2? I'm going to go 2-2. Someone's telling me 2-2 in that one. I don't know why. Villa against City. Well, a lot of people are going to say City to win. Yes, they are. Villa have been doing a little bit better, but they did lose, I think. Yeah, they did. They lost there, and they were pretty poor in midweek in the Europa League. So, tough one for me. Sunday, 2 p.m. I kind of fancy Villa. Maybe I'll go But just Haaland, the Haaland factor. Yeah, let's not go against it. Let's go 2-1. I just think the Haaland factor, he's just going to score goals. He just is. Arsenal Palace, this is a really good game. I'm really excited for this one. 3-2 says the admin. Okay, well, Arsenal would be... They just never concede goals, especially not at home. You know what? I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1 in that game. I don't know, I've got a sneaky feeling. Palace is just so tough to play against. And then Everton Spurs. This is really difficult to call. Really, really difficult. But haven't done a 2-1 home win yet. I haven't, so let's go with that. I don't know. I just fancy Everton 2-1. Let's go like this. Oh, 150-1 this week. Not looking too likely, but who cares? Let's see if it's right. We've not been even close so far, so let's see if we get lucky this weekend. All right then, guys, that is going to do it for today's match preview. Brentford v Liverpool, 8 o'clock, Saturday night. I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be the fourth game of football of the day. So the last game of the day. The atmosphere is going to be brilliant. I am excited after that win in midweek. I'm excited to watch Liverpool again. I'm excited to watch Wirtz. I'm excited to watch Mo Salah's return to form. It's going to happen, I'm telling you. And if you did enjoy the video today, if you did enjoy everything we talked through, everything we talked about, all the content in the preview, please do drop the video a like. Let's see if we can get to 20 and comment away as well. And let me know, guys, if there's anything you'd like to see in the previews or things you enjoy seeing that I already put in. Please do let me know. I'm always open to suggestions of things that you would want to see, how I can make the videos more enjoyable for you all to watch. Subscribe to the channel as well. We're trying to get to 200. Let's see if we can get there or get closer at least this weekend. I would really appreciate it. And yes, I will see you on Saturday evening with the ratings, hopefully for a bounce back win in the Premier League. Until then, guys, speak to you all very soon. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.